What's up guys, Omni here. You guys know how it goes, another day, another video. Last night I tweeted I sleep. What recent news, topic, tweets, videos you want me to talk about tomorrow? Hey guys, today is Monday, September 23rd, bro. We only have 7 days left into this month, and then we only have 3 months into the rest of the year. That's it. We're in the final showdown, the fourth quarter. I know it's already here. You've wasted your entire 2024. Hate to be the bearer of bad news, but you got 3 months left, okay? You can still step it up. You just gotta lock in. Speaking of locked in, Super Jacob said Mr. Usher is deleting all the pictures he had with Diddy. Alright, if you guys don't know, sorry for laughing so early in the morning, okay? This whole situation that's been happening with Diddy has been absolutely wild, okay? P. Diddy, aka the Diddler, has finally been put in jail. I'll explain why I was laughing shortly, okay? It's just the absurdity, okay? But not only was he put in jail, he's been denied bond, okay? The person said that they fear that he's a flight risk and he might either try to escape to Barbados or some random country, or he might also do something like witness tampering and, come out of jail and then, basically pay people off to shut up, or just basically kind of cover his tracks if he's not in jail. So he's still in there behind bars. And with a follow-up, he has apparently become a suicide risk. That's right. It's starting to look like shades of Epstein. If you guys don't know, Diddy was basically the Epstein of the music industry, and people are terrified that now that they've gotten all of his blackmail tapes, how many people will this implicate? Will it be politicians? Will it be celebrities? Will it be musicians? It probably will be all of them. Okay, there's a lot of dirt that Diddy basically was using, because that's basically the nature of what his business was: sexual trafficking, RICO charges, violence, and basically using these freak-offs that he used to do with 1,000 baby oils in order to basically blackmail into doing probably whatever he wanted. That's Diddy. Kingpin, actual, truly evil dude. What's been happening since then is that people have been coming out with these videos saying, hey, be careful your favorite celebrity, okay? Because they have a picture here with Diddy, which means they are probably a bad person. Like, the conspiracy theories are on full blast, full force, trying to figure out who did it with Diddy. I'm copyright claiming that. One of the people that people felt had did it with Diddy was Usher, where he had actually tweeted and said, my account got hacked and damn, y'all ran with it. See you tonight at the Into It Dome. Okay, after Diddy got put in jail, people have been going into their Twitters and their tweets and deleting pictures and a bunch of stuff. And he's just like, no, bro, I got hacked. What kind of hacker goes into someone's account and just deletes tweets, right? Like, if you're a hacker, you're going to, do like an Ethereum cryptocurrency scheme and tell people to buy a coin or something crazy, right? But who goes in there and cleans up your fucking room? Freaking room. I apologize. It's like a burglar coming into your house and doing your dishes. I wish I would get robbed by that guy. So to be honest, I'm not going to waste your Monday with all this conspiracy theory stuff. What you guys basically need to know is that people are going back into like old videos, right? And putting the dots together, okay? Specifically how Diddy was basically kind of like the dad of like Usher, and then Usher was kind of like the dad of Bieber. Like, I don't know what's happening in the music world or the Hollywood world, but these people would take on like apprentices, and then people were suggesting that like Usher had like passed off like Bieber over to like Diddy. Like, to be honest, it's so freaking ridiculous that it's probably true. And if you look at the videos, then you can confirm your bias. Okay, here's one video right here with Usher, Diddy, and Kevin Hart, which I've always found funny.
Brother right here from day one, we used to wake up and, damn, pause, but like, check this out. Back in the days when he was like 10 and I was a little bit older, his older brother, we used to fight over the Frosted Flakes, you know what I'm saying, before pause was invented, you know what I'm saying, but it's my brother for real. We used to actually wrestle off of the Frosted Flakes because he used to always get up early.
So the reason why I'm laughing, right, is because Kevin Hart's laughing. I need to find the full clip, but there's a part where Kevin Hart's just basically like, what the hell, Diddy? What are you even saying right now? Why are you saying this on tape? You know we're recording, right? Kevin Hart, before he actually like blew up, right? That was just basically him just being a goon. Another clip that's going viral, and I'm pretty sure I showed this to you guys already prior, is this whole conspiracy theory when it comes to Justin Bieber and basically his relationship with P. Diddy. P. Diddy took this kid out to like some 48-hour, like, come hang out with Diddy thing, right? And now knowing what Diddy does with his freak-offs and his baby oils, and you look back on this and you're like, oh my God, this was an absolute nightmare, taking an underage kid to go hang out with Diddy for a full weekend.
It's a little dusty, but you know, we'll get the first shot.
So he buys Bieber a car, right? But that's I was pimp my ride. That was all that was happening. And Bieber's like, wow, this is cool. Car. I don't even know if I can drive, but wow, this is crazy.
So where are we off to now?
Where would you like to go?
I mean, wherever you want to go. Where are we going?
So check this out, yo. Justin, you ever seen the movie 48 Hours? Right now, he's having 48 hours with Diddy, him and his boy. They're having the times of their lives, like, where we hanging out and what we doing. We can't really disclose, but
see, I'm like, I don't know, maybe he's saying he can't disclose it because they're celebrities and they don't want to get stalked by the paparazzi, or maybe it's more heinous than that because now we are learning just how heinous this guy was. Like, it's everything you go back and see Diddy in becomes to be shined in a different light. Now, let's be clear, okay? Not every person that Diddy like shook his hand with or took a picture with, like, not every person is guilty, okay? If you take a picture with Diddy, you're in the background, you're like, huh? And you're like, nah, you're not getting God, right? I know people are thinking it, right? But it's not one for one, right? Because otherwise, like, hundreds and thousands of people will be put in jail with them, okay? But the problem is that there's a lot of people who knew what Diddy was doing and didn't say anything or hushed into it or supported it or kind of helped and leaned into it as well. And maybe they weren't the kingpin as Diddy, but it sounds like he got enabled by a lot of power people in the world. The question is it going to get revealed for real, for real? Government going to reveal and disrupt society and throw it over its head and reveal all the bad people that was involved, or are they going to keep it hush hush, use it as like, way to control people and be like, look, we're not going to disrupt society that much because he's done way too much damage that it would make, too many people look bad, too many bad implications for too many people. Because once you open that can of worms, that Pandora's box, anybody can get hit. And that's just, I'm saying anybody, I mean anybody. Anyway, that's the long and short of it. A lot of people have been called out. Okay, I think Obama got called out. I think Jesse Teigen and John Legend got called out. I think Pink got called out. Apparently she's been deleting a lot of tweets. I'd already told you about Usher. There was a couple other people like Megan Fox, but everyone's kind of like coming out and being like, hey, I remember seeing you and Diddy hanging out and you were holding his hand and stuff, and now I think you are kind of screwed. Everyone wants to know what's in the box. I think eventually we'll either A, find out what's in the box, or B, I don't know if Diddy, he might just get Epstein. I feel like those are the only two options that we have here. I'll let you guys know if anything kind of crazy develops since then. So Juan Santos said, time to bring out VTuber Omni for this one. Oh my God. Okay, I don't even remember how to, I think there was like an update. I can't bring out VTuber Omni. I gotta figure that out again, okay? I'm becoming a boomer. I don't remember how to use assets. I need help, okay? I don't have VTuber Omni for you on board, okay? You're just gonna have to deal with IRL, real Omni. But apparently there's a lot of crazy VTuber news out here that you guys asked me to talk about, okay? One of it happened to be with this person by the name of Froot. That's right, I know who Froot is. She's one of the VTubers of VShojo. She released a 90-page document about her abusive relationship with an ex, which people twisted because she cheated on him. Huh? Wait, 90? 90 pages? Is this a 90-page twit longer? What do you mean a 90-page document? Like, is like each page, like, is there just a bunch of pictures or videos? Or 90 pages? That's a book. The last time we had this conversation, it was around that count as well. People are writing full books. Good Lord. Okay. And then Amelia Watson, one of the first Holo EN members, will be leaving, but not graduating. Interesting. I know who Amelia Watson is as well, but she's not graduating, but she is leaving. Okay, let's go to the first one, okay? Because now you guys basically know what's happened to Amelia Watson if you are familiar with her as a VTuber. Okay, she's, leaving, not graduating. You got the news. But I need to look more into this 90-page document because I heard this thing is absolutely wild. Oh, it's this one. That's right. I've been seeing tweets about this all weekend. Oh my God. Okay, this person. So Fruit said, I want to share a piece of myself with you for a moment. And not just a piece. So this is like 90-page document, okay? But she's basically sharing her experience, well, I'm imagining with her previous partner, right? And I remember seeing all these quote retweets and replies where some people were saying, hey, I stand with Fruit, she was abused and this was really bad and, blah, blah, blah. And then I saw like a whole bunch of people, her getting ratio. A lot of people were like, oh, so you cheated on your husband and you decided to write a 90-page document to justify why you did so. You're a scumbag kind of thing, right? So there was like two very, very polarizing sides to this situation that was Really bad. All I saw were just the quote retweets of two sides either defending her or absolutely ostracizing her for cheating on her partner. Even if you look at the comments, you got people saying, I'm happy that you're closing this chapter of your life, or Kyo saying, heart emojis. And then you got like 31,000 likes. You are what's wrong with this world. Sounds like sharing pieces of yourself was a problem. This person ratioed her and said, hey, I cheated on my husband who was on military deployment. Now let me tell you how I'm actually the villain. Did you cheat on him though? Gets caught cheating. He was abusing me. And then someone else saying like, I'm glad you're in a better place. So you can see the actual hate for her is way more astronomically larger than support for her. Obviously, because we are on the platform Twitter X, okay, where everybody hates more, okay? The hate is stronger, right? Love, hate, yes. We can rally behind hate, okay? Especially if we're hating a woman. That's something that we can definitely do on Twitter. Yeah, they weren't lying. I thought it was a cap, but it is it's a 90-page document. It's 90 pages. A lot of it is, kind of like images. It looks like text messages or, interactions between them, but that's a lot. There's no way. Like there's really no way that you guys want me to like sit here and read through this, right? I imagine, please don't have that expectation of me. Please closed out and said, I have much proof of the abuse I faced back then, but I have been trying to make this document for a whole year now, and I've decided there is no value in putting my time and energy into this anymore. I am closing this chapter of my life. I have finally been able to come to terms with what happened and would like to move on. This is closure for myself. I would like to focus on continue to bring music, art, gaming content. After these events, I now suffer from depression and increased levels of anxiety and agoraphobia. I struggle to deal with my friends and family getting too close to me and often drift myself away in fear of getting hurt again. The home I self-isolate is in my space, self-space, VTubing, drawing art, making music, playing games is what I have found enjoyment in. I know how valuable time is. I won't take up too much of yours. Don't let others judge how you view people. Make judgments on your own terms about your own experiences. Thank you. That was her closing statement. In the beginning statement said all evidential screenshots were taken using Facebook's archive feature. You must read from the bottom up per screenshot. I'm not rearranging individual measures for the sake of reading convenience. All it will do is remove personal information. This document includes mentions of domestic abuse. This is a message to myself and a constant reminder of how strong I've become in the past half decade. I hope by showing others what I've been able to overcome can help people who have been in a similar situation. I pushed this off for a very long time because it's always been an extremely difficult topic for me to uncover. I've been healing for a very long time. When I was 19, I was abused by my then partner. How did I end up being stuck in an abusive relationship? Abusers don't start out the door with the behavior. They pretend to care about you and act like a good person so you don't leave. They start feeding you their abuse bit by bit until you've been completely destroyed and unable to leave, locked in and nowhere else to go. They use emotional blackmail to manipulate you to eventually fully depend on them and make you believe you can't do or be anything without them. They make you feel incapable of being a functional human, and you will believe them. And once you're in this stage, the entire relationship becomes complete control over every aspect of your life: who you talk to, who your friends are, what you wear, how you look, how you talk, your opinions, interests, beliefs, everything. He would constantly degrade me, insult me, lie to me. I tried to leave him on numerous occasions, but he kept threatening to commit suicide and blame it on me. He emotionally blackmailed me, manipulated me, isolated me from my family, forced me to develop dependence on him. I didn't eat, I didn't wash, I wore the same set of pajamas for weeks. I didn't move out of my bed, and I lived around trash. He caused me to become depressed. I want to preface that I am doing much better now. Green is me, blue is him. God freaking damn. The airport sexual incident. Okay, I was on my way to America to see him. I had to stay overnight at an airport in Sweden. During my stay, I was unfortunately sexually assaulted by a stranger. It was 1 a.m. and I had been traveling all day. I had no choice but to choose a bench to sleep on the airport. I was already uneasy about it, but the fact I saw many other people sleeping there made me feel a bit safer. While I was sleeping, I woke up to a stranger sexually assaulting me. When this was happening, the only person I talked to was my ex, because as you know, at the time, I had nobody to go other than him since he isolated me away from my family. His response was not what I expect from someone in his position. I was 19 at the time, and I just thought this is how hard life is, and I have to suck it up and deal with it, which is what he taught me and why I thought nothing of his response. So I started scrolling through the document and reading it. Okay, one of those things that once you start, it's kind of hard to kind of get out, but I'm not going to let you guys see this entirety of this conversation. Okay, the TLDR, and just trust me, bro. Okay, because I won't lie to you guys. This guy is pretty much a weirdo. He's over here texting her and saying like, oh, I feel so sorry and bad for that you had a bad incident. And then also starts talking about how he basically wants to have a specific type of sex with her. And she's like, nah, bro, I'm good. Okay, I'm just saying no, I'm not really interested. And then then he starts getting disappointed and kind of guilt trips her that he can't have a specific type of sexual experience with her. And then as the conversation keeps going along, I just wanted to show you guys this specific page, but then he starts playing around with the concept of basically killing himself. What a pointless existence I'll be living with you if you're afraid to go out of your comfort zone, where you'd rather see me dead or effing another woman before you do anything for me. Ever since this morning where you ultimately wanted to leave me to prove how serious you are, as I've been contemplating suicide again. Because at the end of the day, no matter how normal my life appears to be, it will always come crashing and burning around me. Nothing will remain of what I had hoped, and nothing I care about survives the test of time. So if I don't stick around, I won't be on this earth. That is a decision I'll make for another time. I'm done with living. It's the same shit over and over and over and over and over. The suffering of my heart doesn't. Okay, I'm gonna stop right there here. Y'all don't want me to go like full Omni on this, like for real, because like, yeah, I'm trying to like hold back. Okay, I really am trying to hold back, but when I see something like this is definitely very abusive. There's an evil part of me, okay? There's an evil Omni in my voice that I'm trying to keep suppressed from you guys. But if you're if you're a person and you're threatening suicide to your partner, just do it. Just kill yourself, okay? Because like, what the goddamn hell? Why would you put somebody through this because they don't want to do a sexual activity for you, okay? You pathetic piece of shit. In my opinion. Do I want this person to die? No, but it's some dramatic stuff. I know a lot of people who've been controlled and manipulated for years with their other person basically threatening to kill themselves, and the other person's like, well, I don't want you to do that, so I guess I will stick around. It's a terrible, very common manipulation tactic that people use, and I'm like, look, bro, just if you're gonna do it, just fucking do it, and just stop wasting everyone's time. Is it dark? Yes, but I think it's even darker to kind of use your own life to take advantage of someone else's niceness that they want to keep you in there just to control them. I think that's even more dark. Now, I'm not going to say sorry. There's another conversation where he says, literally, what's the point of commitment to you if you're just inviting me to cheat on you? You know, there's one thing that Chaplin did say about previous divorce, which was, because of that alone, they say I'm 50% more likely to divorce my next wife. I'm not sure what that means. Because when you start feeling the same negative feelings you got from your last marriage, all you want to do is give up. Oh, this guy needs therapy. God damn. Keep it together, man. I keep it together. I'm trying to be good for you guys. You guys know Twitch Omni. I'd be up here and I would be wilding, okay? But right now, this guy is a piece of shit, okay? Throwing around the concept of divorce, throwing around the concept of killing himself. It's all emotional manipulation, and I don't really have any kind of sympathy for a person who does that. Said, I'll fuck women to be happy, and shit, I can't be with you if you F another woman. She said, since you won't make the attempt to me, then everything you're telling me is a lie if you think I don't deserve you. Can't be with a guy who has sex with another woman, no matter how depressed I am for this relationship, and he says, you either deserve my dick or you don't. What's it going to be? What? Oh, God. Yeah, bro. Yeah, you should have just killed yourself. As I continue to scroll down, some of the red highlighted points are her basically talking about things that he did. This one said, he didn't like that I watched an anime that depicted a gay couple. Again, I'm reading this for you guys, all, like kind of like to myself because I can speed read it, but I really don't want to show you all of it because it's kind of, I don't even know, this person's, I don't know if it's English or the intelligence, but it seems like I'm reading it from like a toddler. Like it's like a person who's just not that smart is just talking. I don't even understand how that starts off. Finally, bring up the fact that I developed depression while with him and wasn't eating or sleeping. I was perfectly fine mentally before I met him. Then to compare himself to me saying he's successful at his current age. At the time, I was 20 and he was 22. So the guy was only 22 years older than him. I'm glad to hear this wasn't some dynamic where it was some super overage guy who was taking advantage of a young person, because that's usually what you see in these situations. Okay, that doesn't like absolve him of anything, but I'm just so used to that being the dynamic. Running thing with every session of abuse he had with me was ending the argument with threatening suicide to emotionally manipulate me. He will be a raging homophobe, and because I don't agree with it, he will use this tactic to brainwash me. He said that me, quote, engaging with the LGBT content threatened his career in the U.S. Army, and eventually after 2 hours of emotional manipulation, I gave in. This is how I eventually managed to skew all of my opinions and views into becoming a carbon copy of his. I wanted to avoid abuse every way that I could. This happened every time I would talk about my interests that didn't align with his. So here's the part that I think a lot of people were going back and forth on. They were basically talking about the fact that Froot was in a relationship with this guy, and he was in the military, and then she cheated on him. So she was one of those, you know, military wives who cheats on their partners who are like overseas kind of thing. And they were just been like, yeah, bro, you're basically using your side of the story to kind of like get condolences for the fact that you cheated on him kind of situation. But so far as we have read, okay, this guy is definitely emotionally abusive. He's a bad dude, okay? He's a weird dude and he's a bad dude. So we already have that one established. Let's now look into this whole thing when it comes to the marriage. marriage. I can't believe she married this guy. Was this like a visa thing? The whole thing that wasn't a real marriage. There was no wedding, no ceremony, no dress, no vows. I was alone. I had been stripped away from my family, stripped of my hobbies, my interests, my opinions, my confidence, my self-esteem. I had nothing left but him because he made sure of that. He made me choose between him and my family and made me scared to think for myself why I had no one. I traveled alone for the first time to America at the age of 19, and it was at his home when I had nowhere to go and no way of getting myself home when he asked me to marry him. I didn't want to, but I also didn't want to know what was going to happen if I said no, so I pressured myself into saying yes on the spot. My family hated me. I hated me. He made me believe I was incapable of living without him. He molded me into his pocket housewife. Never wanted any of this. I had only been dating him for less than a year at this point. I didn't want to have to deal with whatever happened if I refused, so I signed the paper. I was no longer a human being anymore. I was my abuser's property. He had full control of me now. Now he knew I couldn't even leave when I live in another country because I was now legally binded with this man, and his abuse with me worsened. I was stuck. I feel a massive amount of shame and embarrassment of myself over this. This is the biggest regret I forced myself to repress over the years. I don't consider it a chapter of my life, but a nightmare that lasted too long. Now, I don't consider myself having even been married, but instead I viewed it as a traumatic event. At the time this happened, I still never viewed it as marriage. I only referred to him as my boyfriend. I've never referred to someone as my husband because it wasn't what I wanted. He used me. In this U.S. Army, you're required to live in the barracks on base. If you marry and have a family, you can move out of the barracks off base and have your own house. He used me so he could keep the house he acquired by marrying his ex-wife. I didn't live with him. Everything in that house was his. He lived by himself in a comfortable life in that house alone. He just exploited me for his personal gain. I was never in the picture, just a checkbox on a list. So I just want to share, like, this is actually a really sad thing to hear, right? And it's also something that's pretty common to see on both ends. When it comes to like military relationships, there's a lot of legality around it. Like a lot of people just do it either like, hey, I want to come live in America, or B, I want to marry you for like financial purposes, right? People will just marry people on paper just so they can get their own personal gain and kind of like game the system using marriage, right? Sometimes people come out on top equal, like it's quid quo pro. You do this for me, I do this for you. We both kind of gain. But she's saying that she didn't want to do any of this, and this was a lose-lose for her and a win-win for him. During this time, when it was supposed to be an overseas vacation to go and see him, he turned me into a housewife, demanding me to make his lunch every single day the exact way that he wanted it, making me do his chores in a house I didn't live in. And if I mess up even a little bit, he would shout at me and insult me until leaving me alone to deal with me what he had just given, taking out all his frustrations at work on me. But the thing here that she says in red was that she wasn't allowed to have friends. Trying to join bank accounts when we hadn't been together for too long. So this relationship had just begun. I was living with my parents while studying university. My mom wasn't controlling my bank account at the time. He insisted we join bank accounts. This was an early sign of abuse because it was the first time he attempted to gain control over me. I wanted to run it by my mom first. As I declined, he took his frustration out on me. Yeah, joint accounts from a lawyer perspective, legality perspective, means that you're commingling and you're, basically having marital assets tied together. So, I mean, when you do get married, any of the money or the income that you have or the things that you spend while you are married becomes a marital asset. But, you could talk to a judge, and if you have separate accounts and, all the stuff that you made and did before the marriage would still be, technically yours, depending on what state that you live in. As I continue to read, it's very clear as day that this is a very, very screwed up, deranged relationship. It's bad. Like, it's just really messed up. Like, whatever foot they got started on, there's no love or romance, nothing. It's super bad. I mean, maybe she's just showing all like the bad moments, but god dang, bro. Like some of these conversations that are taking place, I'm like, how are you guys still together while having some of these really, really just messed up conversations to each other? Verbal abuse over leaving my computer to go make noodles. He kicks me out of my house with nothing but the clothes I was wearing. Again, just to let you guys know, I'm skipping some of the parts, not because I skipped it, but just because there was some of these things I just did not want to show you was not worth it. Okay, just trust me, bro. It would have taken a while to read all of this, but also just kind of sticking to the main points. She says here, I was in the States and he was mad at me, so he kicked me out of his house. All I had were the clothes I was wearing and my phone. I couldn't drive. I was unfamiliar with the area, alone in another country, far away from home while he was having a tantrum in his house. This was because he took me to a shooting range. And I just wanted to watch him shoot and not participate. He was furious that I was reluctant to shoot his gun and refused to speak to me for 2 days. He embarrassed me in public in front of his friends over something so minor. Since this happened in person, the screenshots are fact for the... That's cap. There's gotta be. There's no way, guys. Come on. There's no way that a guy is getting angry because you took your girl to the shooting range and she just wanted to watch. Like, are you serious? But she said, I had nobody to go to in America, no family, no friends, couldn't even drive. We had an argument. You kicked me out of your house. And he said, I don't know what I was doing. T _T. There's no question or conversation or context about the whole gun thing, but he did say, you are correct. I made a mistake. I'm only human. We all make mistakes. That's right. Sometimes we make the mistake of putting our wife out into the lone cold abyss with nothing but just clothes. Whoops. So yeah, guys, this is the long and short of the document. Okay, now I didn't see the part about the cheating, and maybe I missed that. I need to kind of go over what people are saying. Actually, I'll do that for you guys right now. But just to be completely frank, from what I am reading from her side of the story, whether these arguments are definitely cherry picked or not, this dude is not good news. He's bad news Barrington 1000%. Okay, even if you don't like her for the fact that she must have cheated him or something like that, this guy is bad news. Okay. He's not a good dude. To trade a potential popular belief, I do think that if this guy wants to, he should come out with his own story as well. You guys know how these things work on the internet. Okay, you got one side, you got another side, and you got the truth kind of situation, right? And if somebody comes out with a 90-page document talking about how a terrible person you are, they pick out specific receipts to talk about the worst moments. Hey, this other person might have their own view and things as well, and receipts that she did not provide. There's probably another side to the story, essentially. I'd be curious to hear it just so that I can have the full story. But even with the full story, I think the guy is abusive. Like, I think that one has been made clear. Like, it's unless he's not the person that's in these text messages, they are in there. He is an abusive guy, emotionally abusive, verbally abusive, surprisingly not physically abusive, but he's a terrible person. He's a very abusive person when it comes to a relationship. But guys, I did a bunch of digging and I couldn't find any evidence of the cheating. I think what it was like some type of rumor that was being spread, I think, by the ex themselves, maybe like 4 years ago to that extent. And I literally just can't find anything when it comes to that. But that did not stop Asmongold from giving his take on the situation. Asmongold, you guys know, is the most infamous streamer guy known for having like a very, very dirty house. He used to be I think World of Warcraft streamer, kind of like streams like that, MMORPGs and all that jazz. And then it's kind of been going down this loophole of just doing commentary and reacting to people's content, and people hate him, but also he has a very huge fan base. So yeah. Did you guys know that over 13 million car accidents happen over the span of an entire year here in the United States? That's more than 36,000 motor vehicle crashes in one day. Accidents happen, and when they do, the last thing that should be on your mind is the cost of the medical bills and all the damages you might have to repay. But that's exactly where Morgan & Morgan comes in. Contacting a personal injury attorney should be your first step when it comes to any kind of car accident. It's a no-brainer, and it costs you nothing unless you win. You have nothing to lose, and a firm like Morgan & Morgan can quickly determine if you have a case. And when they do have a case, they don't settle for lowball offers. Morgan & Morgan have achieved significant verdicts in the past few months for victims involved in life-altering car crashes. Yours might be worth millions as well. There's no need for you to visit law offices and sit through long consultations. You can submit a claim and have a lawyer review your case with only 8 clicks on your phone. And from there, you can upload documents, medical records, and text your attorney and legal team throughout the duration of the case. LDR, you just got into a car accident and your current and future health are at stake. An instant call to Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm, may be all you need to get the compensation that you deserve. If you ever got seriously injured, your case could be worth millions, and you're only a few clicks away from potentially changing your life. You can start your claim now with Morgan & Morgan at https://forthepeople.com/omni, found in the description, or by scanning the QR code on screen from your phone's camera. And again, special thanks to Morgan & Morgan for sponsoring today's video. Anyway, I guess this is what he had to say. Here's a 30-second clip of what he had to say in one of his videos that have now been privated by him himself.
And people actually, there were apparently a dozen or so people that actually read all 90 pages. And after they looked into it, they found out that, in fact, she was the one that had cheated on her husband while he was on deployment. So if you look at the engagements here, let's read some of these. And I'd be pretty mad too if my wife fucked 5 different men instead of me. She put out a twit longer begging for attention and looking for approval for cheating on her fucking husband. It's crazy.
So that's the story that he came up with based on the quote retweets that I guess appeared there. Again, I can't find any evidence of it, but that's what him and lots of people believe, is that Froot basically put out this sad piece sob story, only her side of the story, to justify her also being a villain as well in her own right, which was just habitually cheating on her deployed husband. K-san, another VTuber with VShojo, I think this was something that you guys asked me to talk about as well, said, oh boy, everyone's being so nasty about this post, and I just noticed it. Not getting the situation correctly, but I admit I've only read the first few pages of the document. Rush to show love and support to my VShojo sis. I think that's also what the other girls did. Let me make myself clear about this because I don't want any misunderstanding. No, I do not tolerate cheating. As an only son of VShojo, I have the right to slap her in the face if she did so. I know nothing about relationships. Who am I to judge about her past? But at the end of the day, Froot has been nothing but nice to me from day one. That's all that matters to me. So yes, I will support my girl if she is feeling down. I will respect her opinion, right or wrong, but persuade her if she is going the wrong way. That's the kind of friend I want. I don't judge people by what they are said to be like on the internet. I only judge by what someone is towards me because of what I have experienced. This is my opinion. Thank you for reading this. This one's one of those kind of like one of those things where you're like, yeah, you want a friend that has a ride or die kind of thing, right? But what if your friend is like Diddy? And people on the internet saying like, hey, that's your friend. That's your homie, okay? And you were his friend. And you guys know that whole skit, right? So on the one hand, I respect loyalty, especially when it comes to friends. To be frank, I have friends who, if they committed murders, I'd be like, where are we going to hide the body? But okay, I don't know what you did, but all right, where are we hiding the body, right? And then, so there's that kind of thing when it comes to the loyalty, but also it's, you know, life is kind of not black and white. So the long and short of it is that Froot shared a 90-page document about her specific interactions with this guy. And if these interactions are true, the guy is garbage, right? If he did do what that was in there, it was emotionally abusive. I am very curious though. I would allow him to give his side of the story as well. Maybe he's sitting on some receipts or whatever that show her to be as equally as abusive. I do not know because we just only have one side of the story. But if we're only looking at this side of the story, it is very, very damning. And this person is he's pathetic. He's garbage. Okay. When he said that he was, you know, basically threatening to kill himself, just kind of do it. Sounds like it was a very dysfunctional relationship. There may have been abuse from Froot's end to him, and we might not know what that looks like. If I'm Froot and I'm writing a 90-page document, I ain't going to include it. I won't include like, oh yeah, and here's how I abused him. Like, that wouldn't be the case, but we don't know the full story, only her story. And again, the thing where people are kind of taking this whole thing that she cheated and then kind of running with it, I can't find any information on it. I looked, I promise. I'm not just being lazy and being like, you didn't look, it's 5 seconds. Nah, I literally looked on Reddit. I can't find anything. I can't find any details. Maybe she's talked about it somewhere, but that's the Froot situation in a nutshell, man. Just, it sounds like one of those wild relationships with young people, but also in the military. I know a lot of people who are in the military, and this whole concept of like military wives, and it gets really, really bad in these streets. The divorce rate when it comes to like people in the military is like high, like super high. And a lot of people are just using marriage and relationships to kind of like pass time or get legal things or to game the system. So yeah, it looks like it was a absolute mess. Why she decided to come out now with all this information, I'm not sure, but that's her life, not mine, and her prerogative. You guys can let me know at home, though, how you feel about this subject in the comments below. You can just tell me whatever you want. I don't really care what you have to say. When I say I don't really care what you have to say, I mean, I don't care, like, I care what you have to say, but I don't care, like you can say what you want to say. I'm not going to judge you for having your own opinion. Speaking of dying, you can really say really big important news. This Omni fellow on Twitter with a banger quote tweet. That's right. Over the weekend, I told someone to die. It was a tweet that I basically was quote retweeting, okay? And you guys, whatever your opinions are, okay, most of what I'm doing is just kind of like joking and fun, right? I have dark humor, but like I'm not going to go out there and do something that's so dark and hurt people. I always like to joke, but I'm not going to try to hurt people. But what happened here was this, okay? There was this picture here where it says 16 years old, struggling with sexuality, thinking that being gay would leave me single with no one to call my own. 16-year-old me would be so proud. And you have a gay couple right here raising 3 beautiful children. And this guy had said, you know, the hill I'm ready to die on is that gay couples should not be allowed to adopt kids. Okay, that's the hill. Of all the hills you can die on, that hill is that gay couples should not be allowed to adopt kids. And it got a lot of traction, almost has 100,000 likes, and there's a lot of controversy on it, especially it being on X, and X being a little bit of a right-leaning platform that hates many demographics of people, including the LGBT. So yeah, this was something that was definitely going to pop, right? And that's when I quote retweeted and I said, then die. It almost has 300,000 likes because, like, well, number one, it's funny. He's saying he's ready to die on the hill. So I'm like, okay, bro, well, if you're ready, well, you just pull the trigger. Go ahead. Just do it. Jump. Do a flip, right? But also, it kind of grinded my gears, man, because grinded my gear for several reasons. I hope you guys don't mind listening to me without this kind of creating any kind of divide. Hopefully there's no divide here, right? But kids need love, right? There's a lot of kids in the foster care system. There's a lot of people who are going to grow up. A lot of kids grow up with no parental figures whatsoever, and they're going to be put through the ringer, and they're not even going to make it to adulthood, simply for the fact that there was not older people in their lives to guide them and to love them, period. Okay, so that's just one thing, is that kids need love and having any kind of parental figure, even if that's an uncle, even if it's a brother, even if it's like an older brother or sister, right? Someone to take care of them and love them and guide them as kids. I feel like, you know, every kid deserves that, but not every kid will have that. So to kind of say that the hill that you're going to die on is that gay people can't do that, cannot be providers of that love for these kids who need that, in my opinion, is warped. What also brings me to my second point is that it's just automatically villainizing gay people as terrible people, and that apparently they can't parent kids simply because they are gay. And I, as a person who hasn't had one of the best upbringings, I can, you know, inform you guys all here that, yes, straight people can also be terrible, demonic, abusive parents as well. Like, I know this is hard to believe, right? But your sexual orientation does not determine if you are unfit to be a parent or not. I'm sure most of you guys are watching this at home, and maybe you have some great parents, and that's all great and hunky-dory, but I'm sure there's a lot of you who maybe have a terrible, drunk, abusive, beating stepfather or father, or maybe your mother was a terrible person and caused you PTSD for not loving you or not caring for you, or maybe choosing her husband over you and her kids, or whatever, right? I'm pretty sure everyone has a story where there was a straight couple who basically mistreated their kids. Don't even get me started when it comes to like those relationships where you have the guy who goes up there and shoots up and kills his entire family, okay? The long and short of it is that people are just bad inherently, right? You are, as a human being, you can be a good or a bad person, but assigning the fact that you are not able to provide love to a kid just because of your sexual orientation, in my opinion, is absolutely disastrously preposterous, and is the reason why I told him he can go die on that hill. We're reading the comments, and people were like cherry picking and kind of like showed an article of like how there was like a gay couple that was really terrible and messed up to their kids, and yes, that happens too as well. Let me be completely frank, okay? Like, again, I said evil is evil. So yes, there will be evil gay people, just like there will be evil straight people, okay? It does not matter. It doesn't have a filter. It doesn't care what gender that you assign yourself as, and it doesn't matter who you are attracted to. You can be a terrible parent and an evil human being. But I do think that if you are a good person, if you are a good parent, and if you can provide kids who don't have love, as well as a roof over their heads and support, and you can guide them to help them be good people, then yeah, you can be a qualified candidate to raise a kid. That's my opinion, though. And yeah, if you guys disagree, that's fine. But yeah, he can go down that hill. Because I know there's way too many kids out there who are not receiving the love that they deserve. All right, guys, so today's video is dragging out, so I'm going to end it with a bunch of kind of like random need to know, like random segments of information and bits that you might want to know. It might not be very important, or you might be like, holy hell, what the hell is going on? So I'm just going to kind of throw a lottery of random stuff at you really quickly. Bayou Laxana saying, Fatal Fury City of Wolves collab with Cristiano Ronaldo. Ronaldo, one of the most popular football players of all time, soccer, if you're American, I guess, is basically going to be a playable fighter in Fatal Fury. Are you, this is cap? This has got to be like cap, right? This is not real. A legendary player joins the legendary game. Is he a background character? Bro, they didn't even show him, bro. What do you mean? And a soccer player is not doing all this damage, bro, to a daggone barred up door. Is this him like kicking a ball? Like, is this the soccer damage? Like, how is he going to be a player? Is he going to be a long distance projectile player who like kicks a ball at people infinite. What do you mean? This reminds me of, what is it? There was a game, what's it called? Shaq Fu. They had a bunch of NBA players they were fighting, right? But I can't think of many cameos where you just take a random celebrity. I remember Michael Jackson, I think, was once like kind of thrown into video games at times. But yeah, Ronaldo is now going to be an actual playable fighter in Fatal Fury. That's absolutely bonkers. Another pretty cool update you guys might want to know. But yeah, man, the Amazing Digital Circus is coming to Netflix. I think we talked about how Has Been Hotel, the success of that animation as well. There's these YouTube things, okay, if you guys don't know Has Been Hotel or Digital Circus, okay, there's a lot of people who animate and they make their videos on YouTube and they become so amazing. They become so big that big companies like Amazon or Peacock or now Netflix are picking up their shows and breaking their animation, say, your stuff is so good, bro, we're going to buy you out and you're going to come bring your stuff over to Netflix. So big news, guys. From October 4th, The Amazing Digital Circus is also coming to Netflix with episodes 1 through 3 to stream both there and on YouTube. That's pretty absolutely amazing. I've seen clips of this animation and it's, man, it's wow how far animation has evolved. And there's a lot of people who love this show. So if you're kind of into the whole Has Been Hotel universe and all of those very, very strong animated shows, this is probably one that you might want to not miss as well. So I said, hey, new anime season starting soon. What's going to be checking out and what did you enjoy from the summer season? Yeah, we'll end this here on a nice, chill, relax, Omni geeking out over anime kind of thing. I'll keep it short and sweet for you guys who are not weebs, okay? Don't close out of here. Let me tell you about some of my interests, bro. Yo, so this season I have enjoyed, there's one anime, I forget what it's called, like Ozan or something. It's a guy who's like 32 and he wants to be like like really strong, like an adventurer, but it was too late. And then he became super powerful because like 4 people who were very like strong S-rank champions trained him and killed him like 1,000,000 times to the point where he became S-rank. It's kind of basically talking about how it's never too late to kind of chase your dreams as long as you have the willpower and determination kind of thing. I think it's funny. It's not like good by any means, but it's hard for me to not continue watching. I've been watching Tower of God season 2. I won't say any spoilers or anything about that. I'm not really happy with it. The animation is garbage doo-doo butter. It's I think it was a webtoon initially, or maybe it was like a Korean manga, manhwa, I think is what it's called. But I loved season 1 a lot. I am Team Rachel, by the way. That's right, I am a villain. But yeah, season 2 has not been hitting for me. I'm going to keep watching it, and something about it makes it like I'm going to keep watching because I'm invested. But it hasn't been hitting. I don't really like the animation. It feels like it's not getting the justice that it deserves, and it's just kind of random. I don't know what the hell is going on most of the majority of the time, but I can't stop watching. What else? I've been watching One Piece. I'm not caught up, but it's a lot of stuff is going down on that as well. So One Piece is just always One Piece. It's always peak. And then there was another anime that I've been watching as well. I was watching Shikunoko Orbit, the deer girl. I was watching that for a while, but then I stopped like halfway around. It was one of those animes that was feel like it's overstimulating, so I just like to watch it in like piecemeals essentially. And I finished Assassination Classroom. It's an old anime that came out a while ago, and now I'm starting season 2. I love it. Absolutely fun. Hilarious. And season 2 looks like it's going to be absolutely good as well. So that's kind of the anime that I have been peeping. In terms of what's coming out for the fall, there's a couple of good ones that I'm really looking forward to. I know there's a Dandadan. I think that's one of the most popular ones that are coming out as an anime. I don't know much about it, but people are saying that Dandadan is going to be absolutely hype. There's going to be Bleach, 1,000-Year Blood War that's going to be coming out that I'm really excited for. I think that's going to be another season of that, a continuation of the prior season. Blue Lock, the anime about these kids that play soccer and the ego thing, I think is getting another season as well. I need to catch up on that because it was a little bit corny and I kind of stopped watching it, but it's something that I'm going to watch because I kind of like sports animes. I just do. I have a thing for it. I have a weakness for it. I actually just got finished watching Hajime no Ippo over again, which is one of my favorite animes of all time. It's just goated. I've been just watching it while I go to the gym because it's like really good inspirational anime to watch. And it's fun to be on the treadmill while watching like an inspirational anime because it kind of feels like you are in the anime yourself. But yeah, those are the animes that I've been watching. In terms of what else I might be looking for, let me check this fall chart. Yeah, Dan to Dan, definitely want to watch that. Blue Lock, I've already mentioned. Uzumaki. There's a lot of ones on here that I don't know that I think are definitely ones I need to try out that I probably just will. Dragon Ball Daima, a new series in the series with Goku, Vegeta, and Bulma. What in the world? I've been blocking everything when it comes to anime, but it looks like young Goku. I'm excited for that. I try not to get spoiled by just not, putting myself in the situation where I can get spoiled so that I can be surprised. Sword Art Online, Gun Gale Online too. Okay, I'm a huge fan of Sword Art Online. It's one of those hater to love it, but usually it's just the first season that was good. As I'm scrolling, Rama, one half. I know that's a pretty popular anime. That's still going, or is it an adaptation of Ranma? That's pretty cool. I know Rurouni Kenshin is also getting a new adaptation as well. Yeah, right here, Rurouni Kenshin. And then other than that, I don't recognize anything, okay? So for those of you guys who are anime heads at home, like, just let me know in the comments below. Give me like 2 or 3 that I didn't mention that I have to watch. Okay, and don't recommend garbage to me. Okay, I don't have time to watch garbage. Sometimes I like watching garbage. I don't got time to watch garbage. So let me know what are like the must watches for the season here, and I'll go ahead and peep it and watch it this while it's happening. ReZero, by the way, I still haven't watched that. Some people tell me I should watch it. Some people tell me I shouldn't watch it too as well. But yeah. But all right, guys, that's all for today's video. It was a big chunky wonky, especially that fruit section. We talked about a lot of topics here that could be a bit divided. I hope you guys are cool. Like, I feel like we've gotten to the point where you've watched my channel long enough here to know that I'm not trying to divide any of you guys and that we're all just human beings. And some of the polarizing subjects that can, tend to pop up in news that would split people in half, I feel like us as the energy that we create here, we can sit here and be civil and talk about it and figure that shit out and then move on, because life is not so serious where you just need to start cutting out like millions of people in your life just because you guys have some viewpoints that might not match. I know this conversation itself gets a little deep because some of those viewpoints can be way too problematic, and therefore you probably should, but I think you guys understand what I'm trying to say. I'm bringing nuance to the situation, objectivity, and then I'll also let you know if I have an opinion that I have that you don't necessarily have to share as well, while also talking to you guys about the news and keeping it calm and cool and level-headed. I love you guys. I'll catch you later on the next episode. Thanks for watching, okay? Subscribe if you guys haven't already. Just hit that button for me. I need you to press it down there on the screen, okay? All right, guys. Y'all take it easy. Peace.